A spectacular show from Mother Nature, lightning hitting the Empire State Building and New York City high-rises. Drenching rain from severe storms pummeled New York State, causing flash flooding inland, washing away roads. Heavy winds brought a tree crashing down on a roof of this home. The severe weather causing temporary delays and cancellations at all three of New York City airports Wednesday afternoon.
I'm much happier to be traveling today as opposed to tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be insane.
It's the same storm system that wreaked havoc across the Midwest, grounding planes and knocking out power lines. In Chicago on Tuesday, traffic into and out of O'Hare International Airport brought to a near standstill. Actually not standing, some passengers got out and walked to the airport to make their flights.
So I've been walking about 20 minutes.
AAA predicts it will be one of the busiest travel weekends in the past 7 years. All this as Hurricane Arthur continues to push up the East Coast. Heavy rain expected to remain mostly offshore, encouraging news to motorists. AAA expects 41 million to drive 50 miles or more this weekend, up nearly 2% from the last 4th of July and almost 14% more than this year's Memorial Day weekend.
If you're out on the road, as probably 80% of those who will be traveling will be, pack your patience.
And it's not just roads that will be packed. An estimated 8% of Americans will travel by rail and bus this holiday weekend.
News Center Hurricane Arthur has forced a state of emergency in North Carolina and is now threatening 4th of July plans for millions of people along the eastern seaboard. Evacuations are already in order for parts of the North Carolina coast. Also, many vacationers, neighbors, they're loading up and leaving town ahead of Hurricane Arthur.
If it's mandatory, you have to go, so that there's no decision to make.
Very true. Those mandatory evacuations now in effect for Hatteras Island, North Carolina. Meanwhile, the rest of the Outer Banks, 25 counties in North Carolina, they are now getting ready for the brunt of that storm. Evacuations there are voluntary, but they are under a hurricane warning. Arthur is threatening to bring coastal flooding to parts of the state, and the governor has declared a state of emergency. And as the storm comes in, business owners, they worry about customers heading out on this normally very busy holiday weekend. Felicia, over to you.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's going to be wet out there for a lot of people's holidays.
Sure, wet and stormy.
Storm came at the absolute worst time, and that's where we will begin this half hour with the latest on the East Coast bracing for Arthur, the first named storm of the hurricane season.
And mandatory evacuations have been ordered for Hatteras Island in North Carolina, along with other parts of the Outer Banks. They're expected to ride out the storm. Arthur will gain strength today and tomorrow while staying offshore. But the rain and the wind that accompanies it will wash out for many 4th of July celebrations.
Yeah, Boston officials are moving up their Friday evening plans to tonight. What would have been a rehearsal is now going to be a performance there. And ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has more from the Outer Banks.
Arthur's outer bands hitting Florida's eastern beaches, bringing rain and rough seas.
We can see the waves are pretty high today, so we're going to keep a close eye on them.
Floridians waiting out this first storm of the Atlantic hurricane season as it makes its slow northern turn up the East Coast.
If it were something that looked really dire, you might want to batten down the hatches or go somewhere else, you know, away from here, but not this. This is just going to be a breeze.
Forecasters say Arthur is gaining strength off the Carolina coastline.
Storms are coming!
Oh, we're staying. We're not going anywhere. We're here.
But North Carolina's Governor Pat McCrory warns Hurricane Hardy residents not to take this storm lightly.
I want to reiterate, don't put your stupid hat on. Usually most injuries occur right before a storm or right after a storm.
The governor declaring a state of emergency in 25 counties ahead of the storm, which forecasters say could make landfall or brush the shores of the Outer Banks as a Category 1 storm, just ahead of the busy July 4th weekend. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Raleigh, North Carolina.
So conflicting weather patterns and even ocean temperatures could influence Arthur's every move.
Yeah, let's get the latest predictions from AccuWeather's Steph Davis. Good morning, Steph.
Thanks, Rena and Taman. Arthur is currently northeast of Jacksonville, Florida, and it will continue to press north. It will impact Myrtle Beach, South Carolina Thursday night, bringing along with it 1 to 3 inches of rain and wind gusts between 40 and 60 miles per hour. The worst conditions are expected Thursday night into Friday for the Outer Banks, with rain between 3 and 5 inches and wind gusts up to 80 miles per hour. Now, these conditions are prompting a tropical storm warning for Myrtle Beach and Virginia Beach, and a hurricane warning for the Outer Banks. For our Independence Day Friday, people in the Northeast heading to the beaches, you will experience rough surf and strong rip currents. But the good news is the worst of the conditions, heaviest rain and strongest winds will be well offshore. Rena, Taman, back to you.
Steph, thanks so much. The weather made fighting a fire in Vermont more.
Mark 13. And as he went out of the temple, one of his disciples saith unto him,
Master, see what manner of stones and what buildings are here.
And Jesus answering said unto him,
Seest thou these great buildings? There shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives over against the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately,
Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign when all these things shall be fulfilled?
And Jesus answering them began to say,
Take heed lest any man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in divers places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrows. But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings, for my sake, for a testimony against them. And the gospel must first be published among all nations. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak, neither do ye premeditate. But whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye, for it is not ye that speak, but the Holy Ghost. Now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father the son, and children shall rise up against their parents, and shall cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. But when ye shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it ought not,
let him that heareth understand.
Then let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains. And let him that is on the housetop not go down into the house, neither enter therein to take anything out of his house. And let him that is in the field not turn back again for to take up his garment. But woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. And pray ye that your flight be not in the winter. For in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation which God created unto this time, neither shall be. And except that the Lord had shortened those days, no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days. And then if any man shall say to you, Lo, here is Christ, or Lo, he is there, believe him not. For false Christs and false prophets shall rise and shall show signs and wonders to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect. But take ye heed. Behold, I have foretold you all things. But in those days after that tribulation, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And then shall he send his angels, and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of the earth to the uttermost part of heaven. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When her branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is near. So ye in like manner, when ye shall see these things come to pass, know that it is nigh, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, that this generation shall not pass till all these things be done. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants, and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. Watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh, at even, or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. And what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch. In the morning, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. And what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch.